Welcome back to Lifestyle After 5 with your man, Lord Shu, and I myself, Ali Muhammad. Now, what if I told you the coldest place on Earth may be hiding the hottest secret in modern science? Deep beneath the miles of the Antarctica ice, something is sending out signals that break the laws of physics. A whistleblower, which is kind of debated, they denying it, but there's a whistleblower, and I'm not going to even say the company that he worked for. It's saying it's not what we think. We're going to talk about that in today's episode. Welcome to Lifestyle After 5.
Yo, what it do? Welcome back, everybody. So tonight we diving deep into two mysteries tied to the South Pole. One is grounded in real, peer-reviewed science, and the other, a Raytheon whistleblower who claims to have witnessed earthquake weapons, directed energy tech, and a cover-up that sounds straight out of a sci-fi film.
Now, I have questions that on what you just said. Now, we call it the South Pole, but which is kind of a little bit off topic, but the South Pole, but you know our poles flip.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's another story. As the
yeah.
Earth rotates and the poles flip, and the North Pole becomes the South Pole. But that's on another topic.
Don't y'all just
But
love
no,
Ali, man?
I don't know.
Say
It
he,
just
he
came to my
always
mind.
bring in the
It
fire
just came to
stuff.
my mind when you said that.
Facts.
Now, let's start with the strange sign. In the mid 2000s, NASA launched an anti missile balloon flying high over the Antarctica to look for cosmic, they call it neutrinos. Is how you pronounce that. Neutrinos.
Yeah, neutrinos.
Yeah,
Neutrinos.
yeah.
Cosmic
But what they
neutrinos.
found shocked everyone. Radio waves coming up through the ice at impossible angles, like signals was rising inside the Earth itself.
So the problem is physics says those particles shouldn't make it that far and they should be absorbed, but these came like ghost signals. Either the law of physics are broken or we're missing something, something big here that's critical to all of science as we know it.
Now, and scientists think that it could be a new particle. Others think it's just a glitch in the ice, but nobody explained it after over a decade. So we always discovering something new.
Right? Don't you know it? So we want y'all to hit the comments. Do y'all think this is new physics or just bad science? Like there's stuff that they haven't been really learning. They don't really know or they
Well,
still figuring it out.
homework for those that don't know. I'm gonna give you some homework. Look up Operation High Jump, Admiral Byrd,
Yeah, shout out
where
to Admiral Bird.
where we went down there during the Hitler era, and we heard Hitler was down there in Antarctica, and so we loaded up all our ships, went down there, and Hitler kicked our ass, and it lasted about a week, and we retreated. And what they reported was that Hitler came out with technology and had stuff that we had never seen before, and it was almost like alien technology. But of course, as history goes on, Hitler ended up getting killed, and we went and got every one of the German scientists. When you want to talk about America and our defenses and everything, and when you get on the immigration, all that, you do realize that most of our rockets and missiles and everything else were created by the German scientists that we went to Germany and got after Hitler went down. If it hadn't have been for that, we may not have this air dominance that we have now with space as well as land. But yeah, do some research. Operation High Jump. And leave me some comments if you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about already. There's definitely something
yeah. It's a
going
deep
on.
rabbit hole.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so you look
Well,
at.
let's get into the next segment, man. I mean, if it's so it kind of gets a little spicy here, bro. Like there's a guy named Eric Hecker, and he's a former Raytheon contractor. Says while working at the South Pole Station, he saw tech that could send signals into space or trigger earthquakes. And these are his words, not mine.
So I was saying last week, over the last couple of weeks, we had hit all the things. We had Mexico had a hurricane.
Yeah,
Then in the beginning of summer, there was a volcano that erupted.
yeah,
There was an earthquake somewhere, and they ended up bombing.
Yeah,
wherever that was.
bombing, forest
Yeah, we had a bombing.
fires.
We had a
Yeah,
bombing. We had fires. We had all
we
the
had
elements.
all
I'm
this.
like, there can't be a coincidence. I believe some of these disasters and phenomena, meteor shower, I
Yeah.
believe some of
Oh
these
yeah.
phenomenons are man-made and created. But I'm surprised
Yeah.
this guy's still living. He's very brave, and according to the article, he was a plumber, so he had access to a lot of these buildings
Yeah.
down there. He was a plumber and a fireman or something that the article talked about when I looked it up. And he claims the IceCube Observatory, yes, the same one scientists say just listen for neutrinos, is actually a massive direct energy weapon, and it focuses microwave beams, lasers, even ELF waves that mess with your head.
So apparently, this guy testified under oath to the Senate Intelligence Committee. And he says people got sick from exposure to these waves, like Havana syndrome, but frozen.
Now, if you go back during the Obama administration, when they went to Cuba, when we had some politicians that went to Cuba that all got sick because some type of strange wave got blasted at them.
Yeah,
He's not lying on that. That is an
yeah, y'all
actual
remember
fact. That
that?
is true. And we dismissed it. We don't know what came about it. No one ever got accused. We don't know what this wave was that hit these senators or congressmen or whatever while they were in Cuba. So go back and do your research. Google the Obama administration politicians get hit with strange wave in Cuba, and that should bring you some information up on that. But if this is true, that's like a movie. But science have clapped back hard, calling it misinformation, saying Ice Cube is 100% passive. So we got two stories, one backed by data and the other whispered through the ice.
So here's the question: if the signals are real, y'all, and I mean, from what we reading, they pretty much are. Could there be something deeper we're not being told, or is this just another conspiracy riding the coattails of unexplained science? Because if they ain't discovered it, they just refute it completely. Like, oh, this isn't science. It's not real.
Well, I mean, I don't trust every dude with a mic and a story, but I also don't sleep on whistleblowers.
Yeah,
Eric Snowden showed us how real the unbelievable can get.
yeah.
So I can't just dismiss this.
Nah, nah. I mean, this is like you said. We went down this rabbit hole with Admiral Byrd
But
like
yeah,
years ago. This has had to be, like you said, the 60s, 70s.
yeah,
So
not that far. And
yeah,
Nikola Tesla,
yeah, yeah.
he was doing some things down there in the Antarctica
Exactly.
where he was harnessing the Earth's. I guess from what I understand, it was an energy source there that he was using where he could distribute power out to the world for free. And he had a matter of fact, Tesla created the death ray. It was Tesla that created the weapon, the death ray, where he could just take a ray, shoot it, and it sends out some type of signal out there, and it could destroy damn near anything.
Yeah, so we need
So there is some truth to some of this. It,
yeah,
it, it ain't all just
we're gonna need
in
more
our
info.
imagination. But now we kind of glossed over that. But if they said that these things can mess with your mind, and when you go deeper into the story, you look at they can actually put thoughts in your head or influence the way you
Yeah,
think with some of these technologies.
yeah. What you see, I mean, change how you feel because basically disrupts the chemicals in your body. So
So
yeah, I mean that's
yeah,
crazy
so
to
they can
think
really
about.
change you. So basically, you being programmed,
Yeah, you being
you
programmed.
know. So the ice cube could be just a cover for a military experiment. I mean, and why does Antarctica show up in so many sci-fi, alien, and high-tech conspiracy theories? And another fun fact: even when we was at war with Russia, that's the only place where every major nation signed a peace treaty and agreed that no one could go to the Antarctica.
Yeah,
Every country agreed that there's a zone that you can't cross. You can't go to the You can't go to the Antarctica.
yeah,
Certain parts it's off limits. Every all the nations agree. What are they hiding from us? Heavily
yeah.
guarded. They say your compasses won't work, your GPS won't work when you go. It's just strange things happen once you get there. And I've seen articles where even military pilots well had to it was a military pilot flying and he had an emergency and he had to go fly over a certain part of the restricted Antarctica and he's like they blasted his ass over that. He, you know,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's it's always something that seems to have become like almost in the back of our minds. There's just a lot of different things that we hear about. Just like even you brought up about the war and stuff. So yeah, it is could very well be like a cover for military experiments or uh, bunkers for rich people to live. You know, it could be anything out there at this point. But that's why we say do the research. You know, research send you on multiple paths, especially with this type of stuff. I mean, pretty much everything under the sun has been talked about with Antarctica. So this is a
hashtag
very interesting topic.
hashtag Neil deGrasse. I wonder what he have to say on this.
Right. Well, yeah. See,
I.e. Terrence Howard.
yeah, yeah. The hearing what they would say about this would be interesting because this is a lot of there's a lot of people that have talked about Antarctica, but not in the context that we're talking about. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Y'all really getting a special episode today. Not gonna lie.
I mean, we give you research points of where to start.
Yeah,
We're not just telling you go do your research. We're telling you how to go
yeah,
get it and where to go
yeah,
and where
yeah.
to pull up.
You already
Keep this going.
know.
But let's zoom out. Now, if governments are experimenting with energy, weapons, frequency, text, or whatever, where else might this be happening?
Yeah. And then too, why the South Pole? Is it the perfect lab? Like the whole world agreed that you can't get in, so it makes it easier to get away with more stuff out there. Like no witnesses, no politics, no noise.
Or is it something even bigger, something we can't even name yet?
Yeah. Yeah. That
And
that very well could be the fact that like IceCube has over 5,000 sensors buried in the ice over a kilometer deep.
and we thought
That's
Area 51 was
yeah.
deep. We don't even talk about the Antarctica. We talked about Area 51, which some people say it's not even on Earth
Yeah,
no more. It's somewhere at a space station.
Area
But
51.
then, yeah, but the Antarctica is just you don't talk about.
Yeah. And you
Now,
got the
I also
international treaty.
But then too, I also uh in doing the research realized that Vegas, although we see the lights, there's casinos 24 hours a day, all the energy sources, but
Right,
there
right.
are hidden tunnels and stuff underneath the casinos that can and food and everything that can sustain life. And there are tunnels that lead out to remote airports out in the desert. So is that a
Yeah, you
safe
know.
haven for the elite if something happens?
Yeah, you already.
And again, there again,
So
like I said,
it's multi-purpose, I feel.
it is. Like I
Yeah,
said, Antarctica being governed by international treaties, no military
yeah.
activity allowed. Not even the military is allowed in the
So
Antarctica.
it's even
And
it's even more private.
and, and ELF waves can penetrate water and ice more effectively than other frequencies.
Yep. So what are we dealing with, y'all? Bad science, buried truth, or just another frozen crazy story that just disappears back into the back of our brain, but it's a lot of truth to what we're talking about right now. So
We're not even being able to comprehend what's going on, and we're moving into this AI world where
yeah, it's just
basically,
making it more
I mean,
mysterious.
we are in a different. Well, we in Aquarius. Uh, are we? Yeah, we're in Aquarius era, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Yes.
dimension wise, like on the physical dimension, people still transitioning into it, but people who able to operate in like 5D and 6D and shit, like people who still have their body and shit, some of them can tap into it. So yeah, I would say that we are in the age of Aquarius.
Well, do you realize the Aquarian age is all about the imagination and manifesting and bringing things into existence? Perfect example. Do you realize you could speak things into existence? I was having a conversation with a guy at work and we was talking about a cigar and he was putting me on to the cigar that I had never smoked. And so I was like, let me Google that. And all I did was put in 2 words in the cigar. And this name is not a common name. So as you can see, whatever I'm speaking to is being listened to. Your words have actions. And even I got to practice that. Be careful with your words. They are waves, they go out there. Something picks those words up and they are a part of your manifestation. Speak positive thoughts. But we are programmed to talk about the negative. If I say, how you doing? First thing you want, I ain't doing so good. Oh, I got this going, I got that going. But when things are going to do it, it's a simple, fine. We don't talk about what we want. We come
Yeah.
into relationship, friendship. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't like this. I don't like that. Speak more about what you want.
Yep. See how fast everything changes. Can be overnight change if you really believe it, but or know it rather.
But look into the Antarctica. You might find some interesting stories. Look at Netflix. Start looking into the Antarctica. You
Yeah.
might be amused and
There's
amazed there.
so many different documentaries and write-ups about this. There's books. There's a lot of books you can read about Admiral Byrd and his journey to Antarctica for sure. I mean, endless books.
Well, check it out. If you like the articles that we have been giving out and you want to be a part of this community, join us.
Yeah.
Hit our website at www.aliafter5.com where you can find all our merch, shoes, and where to follow us. You can find all our videos. You can even join our Discord from there, or even click the link above my head.
Yep.
We have this and put different articles and stuff in our Discord and interactive conversations. Of course, you can follow us on all our socials at Lifestyle After 5 on Facebook. And of course, you know how to get us on YouTube.
Yeah. You know where we at? Lifestyle After 5 Live. Yeah.
And that's the
This
5IVE.
yeah, I was thank you. That's pretty much the main topic for anything that we do. It's gonna be in Discord. I think we might even drop some of that stuff ahead of time. So
But until then, don't forget to like and subscribe.
scan
Drop
me.
your wildest Antarctica theories in the comments. And if you ever
Yeah,
worked in a place where tech did not match the story, they better not NDA you from dropping it in our DMs.
yeah,
Let us know. Don't get yourself in trouble. Don't get no classified stuff. But if you got something
yeah.
that you can share, you want to comment, drop it in
Feel
our
free.
DMs. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next week.
Later, y'all.